In the beginning, there was nothing but the great yawning void known as Ginnungagap. The first realm to form was Muspelheim in the south, a bright land engulfed in fire and guarded by Surtur with his flaming sword. To the north formed Niflheim, the freezing land of fog containing the spring Hvergelmir, from where the primordial rivers began to flow. These rivers flowed into the void and froze as they came further from their source, until the north of the void was completely filled with ice. The moisture rising from the ice created layers of rime across the glacial landscape. The south of the void was brightened by sparks and embers flying out of Muspelheim, creating a warm breeze which drifted towards the icy north. When the rime was touched by the breeze, it began to melt. Droplets came together as new life and took the form of Ymir, the first of the frost giants. When Ymir lay down to sleep, the sweat from his left armpit formed 2 children, and his legs formed a 6-headed son. From them descended the frost giants. The drops from this rime then formed the cow Audhumla, whose milk Ymir used for sustenance. Audhumla sustained herself by licking the salty, frost-covered stones. On the first day that she licked the stones, she uncovered the hair of a man. On the second day, his whole head appeared. On the third day, he was completely uncovered. He was called Buri, and before long he fathered a son, Bor. Bor married Beslan, the daughter of a giant, and they had 3 children together, the eldest being Odin, the second Vili, and the third Vi. The creation of the world, the 3 brothers killed the giant Ymir, whose wounds unleashed a great stream of blood, drowning all the frost giants except Hvergelmir, who built an ark and boarded it with his wife. They became the ancestors of all frost giants. Odin and his brothers took the body of Ymir to the center of the void, using it to create the world. The sea and the lakes came from his blood, and the land from his flesh. The mountains were made from his bones, and the rocks from his teeth. Ymir's skull was used to create the sky and was placed over Earth's 4 corners. From Ymir's flesh formed the dwarfs, one of whom stood under each of Earth's corners. They are called North, South, East, and West. The brothers then took the sparks and embers flying out of Muspelheim, placing them throughout the heavens, creating the stars. They were positioned in such a way they could be distinguished from day and night. Thus started time. The Earth took a circular shape and is surrounded by a deep ocean. Along the shore of this ocean, the brothers gave giants land to live on, which was named Jotunheim. To protect themselves against these giants, the brothers built fortifications further inland out of Ymir's eyebrows and named it Midgard. Finally, they took Ymir's brains and threw them into the sky, creating the clouds. The first humans from driftwood, Odin and his brothers created new life. Odin gave them breath and life. Vili gave intelligence and feeling, and Vi gave speech, hearing, and sight. Thus the first humans were born, a man and a woman, Ash and Elm. They were given a home in Midgard, where humans still reside to this day. The brothers then fashioned a magnificent city named Asgard at the center of the world. Odin became the ruler of Asgard and took the beautiful Frigg as his wife. She bore him the Aesir, the divine gods who dwell in Asgard. And so Odin came to be known as All-Father, as he is the father of both the gods and mankind. The 9 realms to connect the realms, the gods built a bridge named Bifrost, which is known to humans as a rainbow. Next to Bifrost lives Heimdall, who guards it against the mountain giants and is the watchman of the gods. He sports perfect vision in both night and day, golden teeth, and a horn named Gyllerhorn whose blasts can be heard in all worlds. In all, 9 worlds were created to hold the different beings of the universe. Asgard is home to the gods and Midgard to the humans. Alfheim belongs to the light elves and Nidavellir to the dwarves, also known as the dark elves. Jotunheim was given to the giants and Vanaheim to the Vanir, a group of wise fertility gods. Niflheim and Muspelheim are the primordial realms which form the cosmos. Finally, Hell is the land to which those who die dishonorably go to spend their afterlife. These worlds are all connected by the great ash tree, Yggdrasil. Yggdrasil has 3 great roots. The first sits above Ord's well, the Well of Fate, where the gods sit in council every day. Beside this well live the Norns, three prophetic maidens who determine the course of human lives. The second root of Yggdrasil is placed above Mimir's well, the Well of Wisdom. Beneath the final root sits Gelmir, the spring from which the primordial rivers originate. This root is constantly gnawed upon by the dragon. High in Yggdrasil sits a giant eagle who creates the winds when he takes flight. A squirrel named Ratatosk runs up and down the tree, delivering insults between the eagle and Nidhogg, provoking each. Odin, the All-Father Odin, the All-Father and Lord of Asgard, is the eternal seeker of knowledge. Despite wielding immense power, he values wisdom over all else. In his thirst for knowledge, Odin visited Mimir's well, whose waters hold the secret to great intelligence. The guardian of the well, Mimir himself, was not ready to so willingly share the gifts of the well. After a sacrifice from Odin to prove himself worthy, Odin gouged out one of his eyes and dropped it into the water. Impressed, Mimir offered Odin a drink, who happily accepted. Odin also sought the Norns, who shaped destiny by carving runes into the trunk of Yggdrasil. Determined to acquire the power and wisdom the runes could impart, Odin sought them out but would once again have to prove himself worthy. Odin hung himself from a branch of Yggdrasil whilst impaling himself on a spear. He also forbade the gods to give him food or water, leaving him to starve in pain for 9 days and nights before the runes finally revealed themselves to him. From them, he gained invaluable knowledge and could now wield runic magic. Odin's true goal is the gathering of knowledge in preparation for Ragnarok, the end of the world. In a desperate attempt to delay it and prepare for the climactic fight, Odin sends his Valkyries, a group of divine maidens he commands, to every battle to decide who will be victorious and who will die. They then select the most heroic of the slain and bring them to Odin's hall in Asgard called Valhalla. Odin sits at the head of this vast hall with his two wolves, Jerry and Freki. Odin himself needs nothing to eat, sustaining himself exclusively through wine. Atop his shoulders perch two ravens, Hugin and Munin, who fly off into the world every day at sunrise to gather information. They always arrive back for the daily feast and whisper the events of the world into Odin's ears. Thor, god of thunder. Thor, Odin's son and protector of mankind, is the mighty god of thunder and the strongest of the gods. He sports a magnificent mane of red hair and a giant rosy beard to match, flying around the skies on his chariot drawn by two goats. While quick to anger, Thor is a well-meaning god. Thor is married to the goddess Sif. Once, the trickster god Loki shaved Sif's hair off as a prank. Thor, upon seeing his wife's bald head, found little to laugh at. He grabbed hold of Loki and was just about to start breaking bones when the prankster promised he could get the dwarves to fashion her a new head of hair. Thor agreed, and Loki soon had the dwarves mold pure gold into magical hair which would grow and act like normal. Along with this, they made many other treasures for the gods, including an indestructible hammer. As this hammer was forged, a fly bit the smith's eye, causing blood to cloud his vision, resulting in the handle being unusually short. These gifts were presented to the gods, and the hammer was given to Thor, who was incredibly impressed despite its flaw. If thrown, it would never miss its mark and could always find its way back to him. Small enough to keep in his shirt, this hammer, which crushes all in its path, is named Mjolnir. Ragnarok. The end of days. Ragnarok is the end of days, where the gods are slain by the forces of chaos and the world is destroyed in fire. The end begins with 3 winters in which a series of battles rage across the world, where brother will turn on brother and the sanctity of kinship shall be broken. Then comes Fimbulwinter, bringing ceaseless snow and freezing winds. 3 of these winters will pass in succession with no summer ceasing to exist. The sun and the moon will be caught and devoured by the wolves chasing them, and the stars will disappear from the heavens. The world will be struck by earthquakes as the monstrous sons of Loki emerge, the wolf Fenrir with flames streaming from his eyes, and the Midgard serpent spewing venom across land and sea. The ship of the dead, made entirely of the nails of the dead, will sail. The frost giants of Jotunheim, accompanied by Loki and the forces of hell, will fight the gods. Amid the chaos, The sky is split apart by the soldiers of Muspelheim, led by the magnificent Sir, who will trample upon Bifrost, destroying it. Even Nidhogg, who gnaws at Yggdrasil's root, shall leave his home to aid the giants. Upon seeing Ragnarok approaching, Heimdall blows Gjallarhorn, alerting the gods to the end of days. The Aesir and Einherjar march bravely towards the Chaos Horde with Odin at their head. Despite Odin's preparations, the gods fall one by one until they are no more. Thor takes on the Midgard serpent, striking his foe with lightning and hammer. The serpent responds with poison and fangs. Thor emerges victorious, but soon falls to the ground dead, succumbing to the serpent's poison. Odin engages Fenrir, and while he fights valiantly, the great wolf devours the Allfather. Upon seeing his father fall, the god Vidar rushes at the wolf, planting one foot in the beast's lower jaw and ripping Fenrir's head in two. Finally, Surtur covers the whole world in fire in a mighty blaze. Rebirth. This is not the end, however. As from the end of the old world, another can be born anew. Few escape Ragnarok, but those that do rebuild the fallen world. Odin's sons Vidar and Vala survived and inhabit the ruins of Asgard. Thor's sons Modi and Magni later join them, carrying Mjolnir with them. Balder and Hod then ascend from Hel together and reminisce on the bygone age. 2 humans survived by hiding in a place known as Hodmimir's Wood and will have many descendants, repopulating the world. The son will also have a daughter before she dies, no less beautiful than her, who shall follow her mother's path in the sky. Upon this new world, the population will prosper and rejoice in the peace that has come. Look to the horizon, however, to see a dark shadow loom, the dragon Nidhogg, carrying corpses in his great talons. Ragnarok will come.